Now it's time for America's Talking with headlines from across the country, and you can find these in the description below or in your inbox with the Center Square newsletter, free at thecentersquare.com. Also find us anywhere on social media. The Trump administration Thursday moved medical marijuana from one of the most restricted drug classifications to a less regulated category. An historic shift that delivers a tax break for cannabis businesses but stops short of federal legalization. The Center Square investigative reporter Brett Rowland reports Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche issued an order immediately placing both FDA-approved marijuana products and marijuana regulated by state medical licenses in Schedule 3 of the Controlled Substances Act. A new administrative hearing will begin June 29th to consider broader rescheduling of marijuana overall. The action follows a December 2025 executive order in which the president directed the Justice Department to complete the rescheduling process as quickly as possible. Marijuana has been classified as a Schedule I drug alongside heroin, LSD, and ecstasy since 1970. A designation defined as drugs with no accepted medical use and a high potential for abuse. Schedule III drugs, on the other hand, include ketamine and products containing low doses of codeine and are defined as having moderate to low potential for physical or psychological dependence. A business plan is due soon for California's High-Speed Rail Authority, detailing funding gaps and explaining its plans to where they're going to find the money. The Center Square, California reporter Madeline Shannon reports Assembly Bill 377, which is passed and signed into law in 2025, requires the agency to operate the state's as yet unbuilt high-speed rail to include funding information, including financial gaps, in the Mercer to Bakersfield segment to the legislature in the agency's annual business plan. Now, under the bill, the business plan has to include details, such as an estimate of the gap in funding and a strategy to fix that gap. Ahead of the report required by May 1st, the agency released a draft business plan that shows a commitment of $1 billion a year through 2045 from the state's Cap and Trade program, also known as Cap and Invest. According to the most recent cost estimates for the project in San Francisco to Bakersfield segment, it's projected to cost $60.3 billion. And even nearly $10 million from Congressional Leadership Fund being directed to fall reservations in 3 media markets for North Carolina and Virginia voters, pivotal in the 2026 midterms. Republican efforts to flip old state seats. The Center Square managing editor Alan Wooten reporting the total includes $4.7 million for Riley and $2.6 million in the Greenville New Bern markets in the coastal plain of North Carolina. Another $2.5 million slated for Norfolk, Virginia, the media market that includes 8 northeastern counties of North Carolina. The fund is the super PAC endorsed by House Speaker Mike Johnson and House Republican leadership. Now, in all, the Political Action Committee spending $153.1 million across 38 markets for broadcast, cable, streaming, and digital platforms. And finally, the Georgia Secretary of State's office said Thursday it opposes any efforts to change elections before the November primary, setting up a conflict with the state election board. The election board agreed Wednesday to consider a proposal from the Coalition for Good Governance that would declare the current system unusable and force election workers to use hand-marked ballots. Georgia law allows the use of a paper ballot backup system if using the current voting system is, quote, impossible or impractical. The rule under consideration by the state election board is based on information from the Coalition for Good Governance that the current voting system cannot be trusted because it does not produce a hand-readable official vote or keep ballots secret. Mark's telling the state elections board members that they have a statutory duty to invoke a rule. The Secretary of State's office and election board chairman, John Fever, disagrees. And that's just some of what America is talking about. Get these and other headlines at thecentersquare.com.